Yo, this is your boy Shawn DePaz from the What Chaos podcast. Shout out my guys over at Third Intermission. Check them out.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back, and I am not going anywhere. Of course, this is your boy Dave here, and you have just entered another episode of the Third Intermission podcast. Of course, find us on the socials at Toronto Third, both on Twitter and on Instagram. You can also find us on Blue Sky as well at TorontoThird.BlueSky, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast from. That's Google, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Spotify, and our friends over at Podbean. Also, if you're seeing our faces for the first time, and we're on YouTube, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and hit that bell because we be hitting you with videos every week. Of course, we got the usual suspects in the building here. Of course, we got Queen of Black Hockey herself, Miss Marsha Joseph in the building. We got the Hood correspondent, Jason in the building. And of course, we got the right hand of the king, aka the Fedora Man, aka Mr. Steal Your Girl, Avery McDougal in the building. And as you notice at the bottom of the screen, we have a guest with us today. We have Shawn DePaz as well in the building as well. So, Shawn, we're very happy to have you here. Shawn, let them know where you're from real quick.
Yeah, I am a Buffalo boy, so I'm a big Buffalo Sabres fan, producer of the What Chaos podcast. So it's been a good time, been a busy time, but it's been a good time in the Saberhood recently.
That's actually a bar. The good time in the Saberhood.
I love it.
It has been. It's been a lot of fun.
And you know what? Well deserved. Because
Yes.
I remember just a short 9, 10 years ago how miserable folks once were.
Yeah,
I
it's
just wish other people of the era could experience the greatness, but
yeah,
oh
it's been
well.
a long time coming. That's for sure.
I'm still a little upset that you guys dummied us back in '99, and I won't forgive it. But
And not as you shouldn't. You should never forgive it.
great. First things first, before you start the show, just want to check in with everybody real quick. Avery, how is it? How are you doing in Edmonton now that there's no snow on the ground?
Yo, the fact that Snow's gone is great, but the fact that this hockey team, and we'll get to them, is down 3-1 to the Anaheim Ducks. Yo, here's here's my thing with this, Dave. Whether it's nice and people are debating, oh, this team should have swept the Ducks. No! If you pay attention, you don't know that Anaheim could be scary. And look where we are now. They're down 3-1, and I'm betting you, if this team loses the series in 5 games, there's gonna be some house cleaning, Dave.
You mean Connor McDavid's coming home finally?
What? What nonsense? No! What nonsense is that?
The man has a heated driveway. I don't know if we can top that.
That's okay, Marsha. We could build one for him down here. We could build
You
one
can
for
literally
him.
get a heated driveway in Vaughan. Stop playing.
Y'all been talking about Karn to Toronto for I don't know how many years. It's not gonna happen. Yo, what's gonna probably happen is they lose in 5 games. It's probably gonna be Chris Knobloch out and probably Stan Bowman too.
And maybe Leon Draisaitl actually takes a contract that becomes a Maple Leaf, and Austin Matthews has that playmaker right beside him.
Yo, this man, turn off NHL 26.
His wife is from here. So
y'all
you never know. The right job opportunity,
Marsha speaks no
everything
lies.
is possible.
Marsha speaks no lies. Marsha speaks no
Celeste,
lies.
you gotta help us out here.
Y'all are wildin'.
Okay.
But wait. I did see, you're so lucky though, because I did see 2 days ago my friend flew to Calgary and Calgary got snow 2 days ago. So Edmonton's blessed.
Yep.
Lucky out here.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll rate you for that, Avery. You dodged the snow bullet right there. So there you go. Okay. Jason, how you been, man? I haven't heard you in a hot minute.
Yeah, I just been on the plantation, man. Just trying to pay bills and take care of the kids and stuff like that. You know how it goes, man. Another day, another dollar. Avery, McDavid is coming home. Okay, brother. I'm sorry to tell you this, bro. Edmonton is cooked. They're getting cooked by the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim right now. And I think that the best move that the Ducks made this season during the trade deadline was getting John Carlson because he's able to groom these younger kids, the Mason McTavishes, the Carlsons, those guys. And then They added a couple of studs as well. You know what I mean? So they're pushing they're pushing Edmonton, bro. Edmonton is getting pushed right now, and I think they're gonna get pushed all the way to the plane back to Edmonton, brother. I'm sorry. And then after that, as the Maple Leafs are like clearing cap space, McDavid is coming home, bro. Whether you like it or not. And that's just the bottom line, bro.
Yo,
Of course,
McDavid is
it's a
coming
pistol.
home. Real thing. And my brother over there in Buffalo, nice to meet you. I'm happy for the Sabres, to tell you the honest truth, because like Marshall was saying earlier, you guys went through like pain, bro. Like I thought this year for the Maple Leafs was pain, but that doesn't compare to what you went through. So enjoy this ride right now. It's really fun times. I personally hope you guys play Philly next round, or you guys meet Philly along the lines, because I think that for the game of hockey would be very entertaining.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I'd love to see Philly. I really just want Philly to knock out Pittsburgh. Like to see Montreal. If we can, I'd like to see Montreal and Philly on the way to the Cup. That would be pretty fun. But yeah, I appreciate the kind words. It is, like I said, a very long time coming. It's been a lot of suffering. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy. It's kind of a one-way street as far as the Leafs go. I kind of enjoy seeing the Leafs struggle a little bit this year.
This guy,
I think
Had
we
quite
all
a
do
bit of
it
fun
guy.
with
equally, man.
it.
And like, yo,
Gotta
this
be
guy.
honest.
dead ass. I think we all do at this point because like it's
It's
well
okay.
deserved that like this team really needs a reality check.
It's in your nature.
I have to enjoy it a little bit. You know,
Cool.
it's still the suffering, at least to this extent for the Leafs, is still new. So talk to
Yeah.
me in a decade like the Sabres. And if you're still suffering like that, then maybe I'll have a little bit of sympathy, but it's not. I'm struggling to find it right now.
Fair enough. All right, so Sean, here's how it works. Whenever we have a guest on the air, like we'll ask you a whole bunch of questions, and just we want you to be as real as you possibly can. Like you put your own seasoning on things. Just be yourself, have some fun here, and then at the end of it all, we have a little bit of a speed round where we'll just ask you some professional questions, some out of pocket questions, but it's all in good fun. So,
Sounds good.
you ready to have a good time?
Yes, sir. Always.
All right, perfect. So, in this particular case, since we did have a lot that we wanted to talk about today, we're actually going to bring you into the debate just because, or I guess just bring you into the panel tonight because, obviously we want to talk about the first round. And of course, your team happens to be in the first round. So,
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
all right, perfect. So, I'm going to throw this question to all y'all right now. Considering the fact that we have had essentially two sweeps in the first round, well, let me rephrase that. The conference quarterfinals because Bunda's first round nonsense. Like, how are we feeling right now? Did Ottawa just basically crap the bed at this point? Did the Kings just run out of gas for Kopitar? Are the Oilers basically turning into coconut oil? Like, how are we feeling here? Avery, let's start with you because I know you want to talk about Dedmonton and basically them being turned into I guess bottles of vegetable oil come tomorrow.
First of all, yo, you see this, Sean? You think what I got to go through every week?
From coming from Leafs fans too, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, you know what?
Look,
Hey,
we throw it at him every week, so don't get it twisted.
Rightfully so. Rightfully
Oh,
so.
yeah. Anyway, we'll get to my relationship with what chaos in a minute here, but yeah, no. This first round, it has been first of all seeing Ottawa crash out. First of all, has been like wow, that's a team in which I think Brady Tkachuk is gone. I personally think Brady Tkachuk is somewhere else come next year, be it Florida with his brother, be it Vegas, be it in LA. I think that team needs a reset in terms of what's going to get for Brady. Because you trade Brady Tkachuk right now, you can get a lot back for a team that still has a lot of good pieces there. So I had hopes for Ottawa this year, but time for a reset. When it comes to the Kings and Avalanche, the Kings, it would have been funny to see the Kings surprise at Colorado, but that wasn't happening. They had their chances in game one and game two, but Colorado right now, they're figuring it out fully because the past few years, Colorado just couldn't get out of second gear. They lose in the second round. They couldn't get. We never got the Avalanche that was that real juggernaut getting past round two. Now they might do it. Now they might get to a cup final once again for the first time since 2022. That's a scary hockey team when they're going with Makar, with McKinnon, with Landeskog, with everybody else flowing right, that Kings team didn't have a chance in my mind. And then you look at Dallas and the Wild. That's a fascinating series to me. That personally to me looks like the most even series of the Western Conference so far. And you know what? It wouldn't shock me if finally Minnesota gets over that hump and finds a way to get out of the first round because they've not gone past the first round in what felt like 85 years. The Wild show us they're good in the regular season. Kaprizov has a great year. Matt Boldy's had a good year, and too many times they fall in the first round. This might be the first year they do it, and I'll jump just too quickly here. The Edmonton LA series, Edmonton Anaheim series. Sorry, I said off the top there, Dave and gang. Edmonton, not they look like a tired team. They look like that playoff hockey is catching up to them because they played since 2023. They've played a lot of playoff hockey. They've played a lot of hard series, and going
Hasn't it
to
been like what, maybe five, no, almost 500 playoff games since then?
yeah, like they played a lot of hockey. If you want to go back all the way back to like the 2020 series against Chicago, they played a lot of hockey in the spring and summer. So it's catching up to them. But what I think has hurt them a lot is we've seen against Anaheim, Edmonton, they'll get a lead, they'll get a 2-0 lead, they'll get a 3-1 lead, and then sit back. They won't press on Anaheim when that young core, all they do is press. All they play is north-south hockey to challenge Edmonton defensively. And Edmonton isn't doing enough of that on a young Anaheim team that's playing loose. Those Ducks are there really with nothing, there's nothing to lose for them. What do they have to lose? It's their first year in the playoffs in 8 years. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. And you're seeing guys like Jeff Veal, like Jackson Lacombe, stepping up and finding ways to quiet down McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman. And even M. Bouchard has had a tough series. So it's gonna be a real gut check time come game 5 for Edmonton. And again, if they go up in that game on Tuesday night at time is taping, if they go up and they're up 2-0 or 2-1, you cannot sit back any further.
No, I fully agree. Um, John, I want to get your insight real quick on how, I guess, how the atmosphere is for the whole Buffalo Boston series right now. Currently, you're up 3 games to 1 against the Bruins, and honestly, I know it's a magical feeling right now. But like, how, like how is the mindset going into Game 5?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly like it's amazing how much like a 6-1 win can do for your mentality because even though the Sabres were up in the series going into that game, especially the first two games, didn't look particularly good and certainly far from dominant, especially for a team that was arguably the best team in the National Hockey League over the last 4 months of the regular season. So you wanted to see them be a little better. But when they came into that, or after seeing Game 4 and seeing them dominate the way that I was obviously not expecting them to win 6-1 every single game, but like expecting them to be the clearly better team for 60 minutes in this series, I feel pretty confident. Like I know they're still a young team and they're still the Buffalo Sabres. There's still always the potential that they're going to break my heart and they're going to do something crazy. So I don't necessarily like I'm not going to guarantee that they're going to win Game 5, but at this point I do have a lot of confidence in them getting out of this series, as I would hope any fan base would when their team's up 3-1. But yeah, I just think that they have shown that they are the better team than the Boston Bruins, and really that it just has been Jeremy Swayman kind of making things a lot more even. And if you are getting games that you got from him, although Game 4 was not really his fault, he wasn't stopping enough pucks to make up for how bad the rest of the team was. And if that's the case, then the Buffalo Sabres should have a very easy time. So I'm having a very good time. It's been very fun, and at this point, I have like the confidence in the team that I was hoping I would have at this point.
I do have to ask you though, are there any other series you're looking into as well, while like say just while keeping an eye on obviously the Saberhood and just chilling with with Buffalo fans left, right, and center?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, I have been watching a lot of this Anaheim Edmonton series. And that's has not really gone the way I've expected. I get that the Oilers have played a lot of hockey and it's not the same Edmonton Oilers that have gone to the Stanley Cup Finals years in a row, but I just thought the youth and inexperience of the Anaheim Ducks would get to them, It clearly hasn't really. Like they've played a lot of these games throughout the season that have been track meets, and I think a lot of people go into the playoffs with the mentality of like that's not how this is going to work. You're going to have to play really strong defensive hockey, and they've played good hockey, but they have been able to outscore the Edmonton Oilers. Like it's been a very offensive series. So I've been, I guess, pleasantly surprised by the Anaheim Ducks. I've definitely paid a lot of attention to that, and then selfishly, I guess, in seeing who the Sabres' next round opponent is going to be, like that the Montreal Tampa Bay series has, I think, lived up to the hype in terms of just being like a circus at all times. Multiple overtime games, uh, Montreal blowing a 2-0 lead. Like it has been a fun series. And again, selfishly, I like the fact that they're kind of beating up on each other, and I expect that series to go 7 games. And the Sabres to hopefully have a little rest going up against a beat up team. So those are definitely the two series I've had a lot of focus on. Very glad that the Kings experience is over. I'm glad that I'm happy for them for making it, and I would have loved for Kopitar to go out on a higher note, but they really were not. They were no competition for the Colorado Avalanche. And same with the Senators. I think they were just a team that there's a lot of underlying numbers that suggested they were really good, but I think people forgot how good the Carolina Hurricanes are. Like they have been one of the best teams in the National Hockey League for years now.
Mhm.
And I think people got a little tired of them, and that kind of influenced how they approach this series. But the reality is that they are still the favorite to come out of the Eastern Conference. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a fun first round so far. And really, even the series that haven't been all that entertaining have given you a little something. So I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. Marcia, have you been keeping an eye on like say Pittsburgh and Philly, and like what are your thoughts on that particular series as they're as of the time of this recording right now, Pittsburgh is up 3-2 going into the third period.
I think this series was really interesting. Because before it even started, it was a mess from Florence and the Machine fans who were all really mad that their concert got canceled slash moved to Jersey City. So you had the entirety of like the NHL fan base coming to defend the Philadelphia Flyers and saying it's in the contract, read the terms and conditions. Why are you mad? So I think that was great energy to start this series. The first game, there was like 5 fights in arena, two in the parking lot. Couple people got escorted out. So you know that battle, Battle of Pennsylvania, is just so hard fought every single time. So it's really, really interesting to see the on ice dynamic, but also the fan dynamic. But in terms of keeping an eye on the series, I think it would be really cool for a season team like the Pens to go forward. Soft spot in my heart for Kyle Dubas and Jason Spezza.
Mm.
Even though Spezza is going to be in Switzerland, but it is really, really cool to see that they're still pushing. Um, but I think just as a general vibe, Philadelphia feels a little bit stronger.
I'm
Um,
I'm noticing that too.
yeah, yeah. Like the points will say one thing, but just on ice battles, like going into the corners, like the actual grit that you feel from that, like they want this, and they've wanted this for a while, and you saw that with how they fought to get into the playoffs. So this, I feel, could go probably all the way to seven between the two of them. Um, but for them, I was also thinking, not with this series, but with going back to Edmonton, Anaheim, I wonder how much energy, like team energy, has to do with how both sides are playing. Because we talked a lot about the young core, they're just having fun, haven't been to the playoffs in like 8 years, versus Edmonton, who's kind of been there a couple of times and feeling a lot more of that pressure. You have Draisaitl, who just came back from an injury. Did he come back too early?
Hmm.
Are these all things that are playing into how the series is going? What do we think?
I think that's a very good question to ask. Avery, I'm actually going to let you field this one real quick. And then, Sean, I want to hear your thoughts as well.
You know what? Leon felt he was good. Leon now said he feels better, but again, we never know. It's playoff hockey. Guys are never gonna fully be 100% truthful in terms of injuries this time of year. They always say, they're good, but we learn like a week later they had 18 broken bones and they're
Yeah.
and they're clinically dead for about 3 games. Like you
Mhm.
always learn about these guys never really fully healthy, but it might be impacting me a little bit though. Although it's funny because in game one he had two big assists in the game one victory, but that play has fallen off to an extent. So it's a fair question to ask Marsha because the players who have given Edmonton any bit of hope in this series have been ex Maple Leafs Kasperi Kapanen and guys
Mhm.
like Matt Savoy and Vasily
Right.
Podkolzin.
Oh, very true. And it's really cool to see them step up in a time
Mm.
where you feel like you aren't getting it from your stars. Not to say that they aren't doing any underlying work, but not necessarily pushing the game as much as they should be
Mhm.
and pulling out on top with how everyone saw the West going throughout the latter half of the season.
Mhm.
So it is cool for them to be able to affect change in that way.
Yeah.
Very much so. And of course, segueing to former Leafs, Jason, I'm going to let you field this one real quick. How are we feeling about Utah and Vegas right now? Utah is shockingly up 2-1 on the Golden Knights right now.
Shockingly, bro. No, this was to be expected. You got to understand, Utah's a hungry team, guy. They have a lot of youth over there, and they went and they got Sergachev from Tampa. That guy is an anchor, bro. He was always on the back end for Tampa when they won their cups, bro. Now Utah, like Anaheim, has that grizzled vet that could guide these youths. And you got to remember, like everybody's looking at Vegas. Stone is old. Yeah, he has 2 goals in the series and an assist. You know what I'm saying? Eichel is a playoff guy. Barbashev is playing really good in the series, as far as I'm concerned. He may not be leading in points, but he's physical. He's battling in the corners. You know what I mean? And he's being aggressive on the puck and the forecheck, and that's helping them out. But Utah is just kind of, this is like the Edmonton series in reverse, bro. Like Utah's just speed, forecheck. They don't have the puck in their back end for a long time. They're breaking out, they're attacking, they're aggressive on the forecheck. You know what I mean? And that youth is killing that age. Now Marner now, this guy, he has a couple of assists in the series and like what, 3 maybe 4 shots on goal, but he's still allergic to going in the corner to try to retrieve the puck. So he's not really that X factor in that series. I'd say like Mark Stone is working really hard for Vegas that series right now. But yeah, I look for the Mammoth to knock Vegas out. Yeah, I don't see Vegas surviving Utah, although they won a cup. You know, like oh Jack Eichel, nah, it's time for the youth. Right now, what we're seeing right now in the NHL is uh a team that's built off of youth excelling. Montreal is another example of that. You know what I mean? And to me, that's the best series right now. Like Avery got the best series in the West, right? Which is Dallas, Minnesota. Because right now, that's an even tilt, and that could go any way. I don't know which way that's going. And I could say the same for Tampa and Montreal. That series has been nothing but entertaining by far. I think is my favorite series. And don't worry, Sean. Don't worry, brother. Buffalo is gonna beat Boston. You don't gotta worry about that, bro. Like Buffalo, Buffalo are just bees, young, like fast, like just so. I don't know, man. Buffalo, they have the juice, bro. They could go
Yeah.
far this year, bro. Like I'm not. I don't even know what to say because I didn't think it would happen this fast. Like where like Tuck and all these guys would start clicking at and I don't want to say it to put bad juju on you, bro.
No.
I want you to enjoy this, bro, because
I am,
like you
trust me.
said, 10 years is a long time, bro. That's a long time
Yeah.
to go through the drought, bro.
It has
So
been quite long.
yeah, fam. So yeah, like me, I listen to Benny the Butcher. I don't know if you're familiar with
Oh
those
yeah.
guys. Yeah, that's my guy, bro. So I'm rooting for you guys, bro. I'm rooting for you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
Benny
it's
the
hard,
Butcher
hard
is
not to
pretty
root for the
solid.
Sabres.
Well,
Wait,
in all, I guess all I can say is it's a very exciting first round. I hate the fact that Toronto decided to just shit the bed and not get themselves anywhere. But then again, at this point, who cares anymore? Um,
we can't talk about Toronto, bro. We're not in the playoffs, bro. We can't talk.
listen, they
We
still
can't
need to
talk
catch
about.
strays, man.
They
No, no.
needed to do what they had to do to give the Raptors the extra momentum required
There
to
you
Actually,
beat
go,
Cleveland.
Marshall. Well said.
That's what
Well
had to
said,
happen.
Marshall. Well said.
real quick, Sean, you're not watching any of the NBA playoffs either, are you?
Not really. I'm following kind of loosely, but most of my time has been taken up by hockey, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but unfortunately for the part of me likes that I likes watching basketball.
No, fair enough. I mean, again, still a question to ask, but like, would you ever consider keeping an eye on the Cleveland Toronto series just to help us out? You know, we obviously want a little American Raptor content, and we want the Americans to actually be able to see good basketball north of the border.
Listen, I have a soft spot for the Toronto Raptors for sure. So I am rooting for your success, no doubt.
That's solid. Obviously, we want to keep our eye on the Raptors as well. Of course, the only team, well, one of the only two teams in the Big Four to win to win a championship in on color television. So you know, it is what it is right now. Uh,
Oh,
My goodness. I'm sure someone had a color TV in 67. There had to be one person.
I'd make a joke, but then the show would be done, and that's it. So I'm gonna control myself on this
The
one.
90s. The 90s.
No, I'm saying like
Unless you're
no. I would have been saying like since segregation was ending around like the late '60s.
brother.
no, bro. No, bro. The
Brother.
man was behaving himself up until this point, bro. Yo, bro. Brother.
uh,
John, I'm sorry you had to see that. That's crazy.
No, no,
don't
it's all
apologize. You don't
That's
mean that
tame.
apology. That exactly. That
That's
was tame.
tame. Oh my goodness.
Oh well.
All
Hey,
right, so
go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
I can tell you. I was gonna, yeah, Sean. I wanted to ask you, Sean. Of course, people know you work from. We did with All City, and now working with What Chaos, and yourself, Pete Blackburn, DJ Bean. That's become a phenomenal hockey talk show. It's been, for those who don't know, tap it on their YouTube page. It has been one of the funniest sports shows, not just hockey, you can watch in the morning. What is meant to be a part of that show in which the chemistry between you three has been electric. You've had players on, you've had media on, you've had celebrities on. What's meant to see Sean, the growth of that show, just skyrocket from day one?
Yeah, it's been very, very cool to be a part of. Like I've gotten to do a lot of really cool stuff and meet a lot of really cool people, and I feel very fortunate for it. And I think we get to, uh, talk about a different side of hockey. Like we talk about, I think, a lot of the stuff that like your traditional hockey media or the more famous hockey podcasts like don't like territories they don't really get into, and we just like to have fun with it and make it show that like hockey's for everyone, obviously, in like the demographic sense, but also like for people that just care about different parts of this world. Like we love talking about jerseys, and like we obviously got really into heated rivalry, like the cultural parts of hockey that I think gotta get left out by the league and by a lot of the people that cover the league. Has been a lot of what we've focused on. So it's been really cool to be that part of that and to see that like there is definitely a market and a desire for like hockey to be more than what I think it is traditionally projected as.
That's a very significant thing. I actually do want to get your thoughts on heated rivalry, like just as a hockey show, and then of course as well. I don't know if you've ever heard of the show Shorzy as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. How essential do you think both of those shows are considering like say hockey culture has been just nothing more of like just your staunch conservative old boys club, and then you have like something completely multi-dimensional, like say heated rivalry, where it's basically like two boys trying to find romance throughout the game of hockey, and then as well with Shorzy basically taking Canadian stereotypes and trying modernizing it without making it seem like it's just another old boys club type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Shorzy, I think is fascinating because Shorzy and like even going back to Letterkenny, I think are really interesting because I think they kind of they like almost trick people. Like they kind of sneak in kind of like a slightly modified version of like the traditional hockey culture that is a little more like accepting and less like hyper masculine that I
Yeah.
think is really fun. And then obviously heated rivalry, like I think that just has shown that like there are so many people who like want to love hockey and want to love the sport and interact with it in like their own way, and it kind of like kicked the door down in a way where like I think there's a lot of gatekeeping in like really any sport but hockey in particular from that like old guard, and it like heated rivalry was so successful that it forced people, like it forced Gary Bettman to acknowledge it, it forced teams to acknowledge it and acknowledge that fan base, and I think it was like obviously really impactful. I think it's a testament to like how good the show is just like in a vacuum. It's a terrific piece of like modern media. And it like yeah, like I said, I think it just really forced people to have conversations that like they were avoiding having for a very long time. And I think that is good. Obviously like and yeah, I just think it's good to show to give people who have largely been left out of the hockey world, to give like for them to have something to be able to interact with the sport in a way that they want to. So it's been like it's been awesome to see kind of like the post heated rivalry world, like post heated rivalry hockey world, and how there's been so many fans that have clearly just been waiting to be invited into the party. And I think, like I said, they kind of forced their way into the party at this point. Now there's no turning back, and I think it's a good thing.
Speaking of which, considering that, of course, hockey hasn't been great to people that look like myself, yourself, Marsha, Avery, and Jason, has there been a heavy African American contingent within the Sabres community as well? Or is there still a little gatekeeping, at least on that front?
I mean, they're obvious, like definitely a little gatekeeping, but I think the thing that's really interesting about Buffalo is that, like, regardless of where you're from in the city, like, people really, really rally behind things that like represent the city to the outside world. And I think when you have a team, whether it's the Sabres or the Bills or even our lacrosse team, the Bandits, like when you have a pro sports team that's going out of town and repping Buffalo across their chest, and it's especially when they're successful in doing it, like people from everywhere in the city kind of rally behind that. So I think like you go to a Sabres game, obviously you go to any National Hockey League game, it's going to be predominantly like white dudes. But I think there is like I think that like it's very anecdotal. I don't really know. I don't have statistics to back it up, but I feel like the black community in Buffalo rallies and supports the hockey team in a way that would be rare in a lot of cities. And I think it's really just because of how Buffalo is kind of set up. So that part is really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think there's still plenty of progress to be made. There's no doubt about that.
No, that's a great answer, man, and I appreciate you saying that. And hopefully down the line, I know like there are a lot of programs that we have up here that we've seen a lot of American families come up and I guess participate in. We would like to see a Buffalo contingent at some point because like obviously, you know, we want the kids to succeed and we want to be able to like say have like say different pockets of Americana literally coming up and saying like, okay, you know what? I may be African American, but I want to be like the next LeBron James of hockey. I want to be the Michael Jordan of hockey. I want to be whatever, right? I want to be able to foster something like that and have something significant here. And of course, Buffalo is also a great city to have that. So I mean, who knows? Like, could you ever do a minor hockey camp one day?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there would be a market for it in the city. Like, I think, I mean, I guess not to get too big picture, but I think it's been so clear, like throughout the history of sports, whenever like the color barrier is broken, that like it, it's it's really only access that's preventing people of color and people from marginalized communities from succeeding in literally anything that they do. And so like yeah, I think once you get to a point like where you have this access for these marginalized communities, like it's only going to raise the tide in terms of like the competition that other that like even like the white kids, the traditional market kids are facing. And like obviously when you look at the history of hockey and the way the style of hockey is played, that's so heavily influenced by black players. Like the way that would change the game and the way that the game is played just by having more people having access to it, like I think would be so good for the sport. So like in terms of Buffalo in particular, I absolutely think there's a market, and I think it is uniquely positioned to like have people that kind of already have like an emotional connection to hockey, even if they've never played it and aren't even really watching games. Like it is so omnipresent in the city of Buffalo that it's kind of hard to ignore. That I could certainly see Buffalo kind of being a place where uh, like yeah, where black hockey could thrive.
Amazing. I mean, I know Western New York is traditionally, and let's be honest, they're traditionally Republican, but obviously, with the current climate of things within the United States, I think it would be nice to have a little bit more of, say, a changing of the guard in the demographic and the political let me rephrase that, the socio-political demographic, but also at the same point in time when it comes to, I guess, engineering the socioeconomic challenges of like having hockey within, like, say, a Rochester or a Syracuse or a Buffalo, and having, say, a huge contingent of, like, say, Latin kids or African American kids playing hockey. You know, it'd be nice to have those systems in place rather than just essentially say like, oh, okay, you need to have a rich white friend in order to be able to play hockey in this situation.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think like so much of it is just about access, and there's obviously initiatives, and as time goes on, it gets better and better. But like there is, I think it's such a fertile like ground for just finding like and that's kind of one of my things when it comes to any of these initiatives where like whether it's like pride in hockey, like at a certain point, like you're just the league, the sport is holding itself back. Like
Mm-hmm.
it could be, like I said, I think you have access to more people, more talent, more fans. Like it is only going to be more beneficial, like just even from a purely selfish perspective, like more beneficial for the suits in the NHL, for the stakeholders within the league. Like people only serve to benefit from more people having access to it. So, um, like it obviously gets better and better. I mean, you see it in the draft. You see more and more players of color getting drafted higher and higher in the draft. And so it's clear that progress is being made, but it's also clear that there's plenty more to be made.
Awesome. Marcia, do you have any questions for Sean real quick before we move on to our next topic?
I had one and then I lost it
Oh
because
no.
of a video game. Sorry, a game show that's playing that distracted me. If I remember it, it will come back.
Please
I
tell
will
me
come
it's
back
Family
to it.
Feud at least.
No, it's past Family Feud time.
Yo, this Family Feud prime time, all right?
It's this one and it has
And
like
tell me where I'm lying.
large giant balls that people and it's trivia questions. And then if they get the question wrong, they get knocked off with this giant ball into a pool of water. So I heard someone get knocked off and I was like, oh, what just happened? I digress. I will remember the question and I will come back to it.
Great. Jason, what about you before we move to our next topic?
No, I just want to touch on something Sean was saying, like in retrospect to like being like from Buffalo, but the city being behind the sports teams. Like I I see that like through like music, you know what I mean? Through artists like repping the city at the hockey game with the jersey on. So it's definitely a good look for the city, to be following and supporting your team. Also like with the whole inclusiveness in hockey and seeing more black people, yeah, I think you're on the right trajectory with that statement because you know what I'm saying? Like it's a beautiful thing seeing like more like different races get drafted higher and higher and higher in the draft, right? And that's going to definitely encourage the kids, you know what I mean? that wanna be involved and wanna play and wanna be like them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, definitely. I appreciate what you're saying right now on the pod. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to wish you the most success and just keep pushing hard and go Sabres.
Appreciate you. Go Sabres.
All right, let's move on to our next topic real quick. Of course, the in keeping up with the playoff traditions, the Scepters have now accepted that they're an official Toronto team, as they have basically bottomed out of the playoffs, and the Ottawa Charge has taken the last spot in the Walter Cup playoff bracket. So, as it stands, Montreal, Boston, the reigning, defending, undisputed Walter Cup champions Minnesota Frost, and the Ottawa Charge have all claimed playoff spots. And as a result of certain things happening, Vancouver has accumulated the most points, so they will be selecting first in the 2026 P-Dub draft. Uh, I'm gonna throw this question to all of you right now, and Shawn, you're more than welcome to jump in on this. How excited are we for this current version of the Walter Cup playoffs? Because I know Minnesota's looking to do a three-peat. Meanwhile, Montreal and Boston have had, and no pun intended, a heated rivalry of their own, and it's kind of extended into women's hockey. But also at the same point in time, Ottawa has a chance to do some damage for the first time in like 3 years of this league. So, Avery, Marsha, I'm going to throw this to either of you first. Go right ahead.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. I'm excited for the playoffs because I'm excited to see what Boston can do because that Boston Fleet team looks scary with Aaron Frankel again staying strong in net. She's been a force in net for that team, and also for the USA as well. Watching her play in rivalry series, watching her play in the Takeover Tour games, she is by far the best goalie right now in women's hockey. So to see what she can do in the postseason will be fun. I think Boston, to me, is the biggest threat to a Minnesota three-peat in the league.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna highlight Frankel as well. Literally stands on her head like every single game. And it is absurd how there hasn't been more eyes and more recognition on her and what she has been able to do throughout this season. I mean, I think the Olympics definitely helped with that, but coming back to the P Dub, it's like people are finally starting to realize, oh, she's pretty damn good goalie. Um, but in terms of the playoffs as a whole, like Minnesota needs to crash and burn, ready for that to finally happen. Um, Super excited that Ottawa is taking over CTC, even though I'm very interested to see how that's going to go in terms of like travel wise. But I think this is supposed to be the test because they might be moving there by the time next season rolls around. But it will be cool to see them hopefully start to sell that out. I'm not sure if they've considered opening up the upper bowl to ticket sales for the playoffs, but if they don't, I don't know why. They really should. People love the charge in Ottawa. Um, and Montreal, MPP. Like just give her the cup. Just give her the cup.
Shawn, how are we feeling about the P-Dub playoffs, or have you been able to catch a game at all this season?
Yeah, I've watched a little bit of it. I watched Ottawa drub Toronto to clinch that final playoff spot. I mean, I know that I know that Minnesota is Minnesota and they're trying to go for the 3P. I just feel like if it's not uh if I just feel like they're gonna run into a hot goalie, whether it's Davian or Frankel. Like there's the goaltending that they're going to have to go through to get a third Walter Cup is so staunch that I have a hard time believing that they're going to be able to do it, even with like the top end talent that they have. Um, so yeah, and then you add like the veterans, the experienced veterans that are on either Boston uh or Montreal. Like I have a hard time believing it's not going to be one of those teams. And like yeah, I don't know. I think Ottawa might be a little bit. It might be a little bit of a like thanks for coming. We needed a fourth team. But I think I think Boston's the team to beat. Obviously, they're the top seed in the tournament. But like
I thought
like I said, I
Montreal
think
was.
or is it Montreal? Is it
They were going back and forth for quite a while. I don't know what the standings ended up being, but I can double check.
I guess either way, I like ultimately those two goaltenders are going to be have just been the two best goaltenders all year. So like I have a hard time believing that's going to end. And even if it ends for one of them, I doubt it's going to end for both of them, and that's going to be a very tough path to go through. So, I feel like it's going to either be Dabian or Frankel that are just the best player of these playoffs.
Jason, what about you?
Well, I think Minnesota's probably gonna win again, bro. They always win.
Look, this isn't some Brock Lesnar type of situation where it's just like, like even though like sorry, that's a horrible segue considering Brock Lesnar's from Minnesota and himself. But in any event, like I said, this isn't some Brock Lesnar situation where you could just F5 your way through the playoffs and then next thing you know, bam, there you go, third cup in a row, basically at the expense of black people. But in any event, Avery, don't look at me like that. All right, come on, you know this is true.
Hey, we saw Obafemi correct that at WrestleMania.
Yes,
He
yes, we
disciplined
did.
him still. He disciplined him. Yeah, man
Man,
got
them get
disciplined.
squashed and come down the ring
Got
one
disciplined.
time, one time. Yo, I'm telling you, man, 2019 was avenged. Bobby Lashley was avenged. Big E was avenged. We don't claim The Rock anymore, but that's it.
What do you mean we don't clean the
Oh,
rock? What
I
do you
don't
mean
know
by
about
that?
that
Wait,
part.
what do you mean? What do you
You
mean
gone
by
too
that? What do
far
you mean by
now.
that?
He's an
Rude boy.
interesting. I mean,
Wait.
wrestling The Rock, sure. Real person The Rock, I don't know.
Yo,
I
you
got
gone too far, bro.
I got no beef with Dwayne. I don't know what beef you got with Dwayne though, Dave.
Listen, okay, that bald fraud with the midlife crisis right now out here.
Yo, this guy, bro. This guy, yo. Yeah.
Bald fraud with the midlife crisis. That could be a lot of people.
Again, these are the thoughts of Dave Barnett and Dave Barnett alone.
You had to say that, huh, Avery?
He says that at least once an episode.
Holy smokes.
Again, Sean, I'm sorry.
No, I'm loving it. Nothing to apologize for.
All right, fair enough. Uh, Predictions real quick. It has been confirmed that Boston is the top seed. We don't know who they picked first. I know they're picking their opponent within the next.
Yeah, Montreal.
They picked Montreal?
Yeah.
Shocking. Okay, interesting. So Ottawa and Minnesota, I guess in round one, wasn't that the final last year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think Ottawa's playing Boston and Minnesota's playing Montreal.
Oh my God! Hang on.
Sean knows ball. Sean definitely knows
Yeah,
ball.
you're right. Yeah, Minnesota Montreal. Yeah, see, good thing we're not live. The power of editing. Yes, you're right. Minnesota Montreal.
Nah, I'm excited for that. So, of course, I would like to see Frankel. I would like to see Frankel try actually take over a series and just decimate Ottawa and go off to the final. Marie-Philippe Poulin obviously does need a Walter Cup to her name, and I feel like it's blasphemous as this sounds. I would like to see Montreal go to the final and knock off Minnesota, just for chaos, but also at the same time, it could be just a nice repeat of say the gold medal game, the Olympic gold medal game that happened back in February, which broke all our hearts, probably except for Sean. Sean was celebrating.
Yeah, I had a great time there. See Aaron Frankel again in the final. I think I would love to see a Boston Montreal final. Like I think that would just be so fun and would have a little bit of the Olympic U.S. Canada rivalry undertones to it too. So that would be a nice little cherry on top.
Avery, real quick, and then Marsha, and then Jason. What are your predictions for your two finalists, other than say, because you already know what mine are. So,
Yeah, I am gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with Montreal denying Minnesota chance at a three-peat, and I am gonna say Boston gets done against Ottawa. So I do think we will end up with Montreal, Boston for the Walter Cup.
All right. Queens next. So, Marsha, go right ahead.
Heavy agree. Ottawa doesn't have the scoring to be able to get past Franco. Like yes, the last game against Toronto, they kind of lit them up a little bit, but they struggle a lot and they get frustrated very, very easily when the game isn't going their way. They also start very, very late. So Boston can definitely take advantage of that. So I see them moving forward. And then Montreal, we know I love my Victoire, especially when the opposition is the Frost. Can't stand them as a team, as an organization. Go
Boo,
away,
boo. Tomato, tomato, tomato,
get
tomato.
rid of everyone. They're all terrible people. But hockey, strictly hockey wise, it is going to be a rough series because Minnesota likes to play rough, and we know that from suspensions, penalty minutes. But they also have really good scoring, so it will be a little bit of a rough patch for Montreal, but Montreal did end the season with more points. So I think it'll be a nice matchup there, but I do ultimately see Montreal coming out on top.
Mhm. I'll say as much about the Frost. The one thing I find hilarious is I've covered the Frost and Team USA hockey multiple times, and every time I have, every single time, Taylor Heisey has stopped me talking about my outfits. Every single time.
Yo, game has to recognize game at that point,
I was
man. Come
gonna
on, you should
say
know better.
Mhm.
she likes pulling off fits, so she knows game, Avery.
No, she does.
Exactly.
Jason,
Hmm?
can't leave you out on this one.
Who do I think? Well,
Yeah.
I like me personally. I'll probably say like maybe Minnesota, Boston. That's how I'm seeing it, but I could be wrong.
Hey, Jason going for chaos here. I love it.
Yeah, total anarchy. Anarchy rules.
All right, so we're gonna skip our Leafs. Well, actually, you know what? To hell with it. We're gonna talk really quickly about the Leafs front office situation. Right now, Avery, as it's been.
What front office
No, no, no. Let's
situation?
just not talk about
There's no
Leafs front office,
situation.
bro.
Nothing's happening.
Yo, Mans don't want to talk about this right now, fam. Like, yo, you're gonna make me rage for like 30 minutes. I don't want to
Yo,
do that.
you know, you don't want to get into the fact, Jason, the Leafs are waiting on Matt Sundin's decision first before they proceed.
Okay, this is
Oh,
true.
you just have to bring that up. Like, why are you bringing this stuff up? You guys are gonna make me rage. I don't want to rage.
Listen. We don't need to hear gunshots in the background. All right, just
No, 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 no. I traded in my gold teeth. I traded in my gold teeth for some diamond earrings. Still,
Real.
yeah. I'm a good youth now.
all right. Fair enough. All right, then let's move on. We'll leave the Leaf situation for another day.
Yeah, leave that. That would just be like rage. See, now I'm gonna now. Okay, just give me like 5 minutes, Avery. 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. I don't even know where to start.
Shoot.
Pelly. I don't know. They gotta remove this guy because of Pelly. We lost Masai for the Raptors, which is null and void to this conversation right now. But Pelly, Pelly was at the top. Like certain things happened last season that could have probably put us closer to the cup than where we ended up. For instance, when Dubis wanted to put all the cards on the table and wanted to trade Mitch Marner at that time, he could have got an astronomical package. But Shanahan and Pelly and all those guys blocked him. Moving forward now to Tree Living, at first I entertained it, I enjoyed it, but then I just didn't understand his decision making. I'll just fast forward because what he did was he just basically how I was talking about the youth that teams are starting to have the Anaheims, the Utahs, you know what I mean? The Buffaloes, the Montreals, like Tree Living turned us into a bunch of turtles. Cause all season we were getting outworked, outmuscled. We weren't fast, we were slow. Fine. Go to trade deadline now. You trade away Bobby McMahon. Bobby McDoubles. You trade away this guy, you only get back one pick. Then come to find out at the end of the season now, when everything was all said and done, I'm gonna bypass Matthews getting kneed by Gudis and Morgan Riley just skating away. I'm gonna bypass a lot of stupidness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna fast forward. Like, we can't even get like 2 or 3 picks for Bobby McMahon. We just get 1 second. All right, fine. We have no draft picks.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, putting the trades in the chat GPT. My goodness, that's what I wasn't supposed to fast forward. Why
No,
are you
no, no,
putting?
no, Jason. I know you want to go off on this. Believe me, I do too. But at the risk of certain situations right now,
Oh my gosh, bro!
hold on.
But you started it, bro.
I know I did, but I'm gonna ask you to hold off on that because again, I got some nukes I want to drop in this situation, and I want to save that for another episode. You feel me?
All right, all right. I'll
Okay.
stop.
Okay. Thank you. Because like your boy's trying to hit 15 years, get some free tickets, and then wants to drop that nuclear bomb. But like, yo, honestly, I still want to drop at least a tiny one time. But I'm gonna save that for the next episode. I promise. We'll go off. Okay.
All right.
All right. Blessed. So, Shawn, as you've heard the craziness right now, like I said, we're gonna go to our speed round real quick as we try to wrap things up. Like I said, some professional, some out of pocket. So, of course, are you ready?
Always.
All right. First things first, and I'm gonna start out of pocket. Start out of pocket here. If Atlanta had an NHL team, do you think that Waffle House would be the prime sponsor for this team?
That or Magic City, one of the two. It's got to be something. It's
Said
got to be
Magic
something
City.
Atlanta.
Hey, he's right though.
No, I agree. I agree. All right, Avery, go please.
Between you, Pete, and DJ, who would win in a slapbox tournament?
Slapbox. I
Yeah.
mean, Pete's probably the strongest, but I have the longest arms, so it's gonna be the one of the two of us. I, I think I'll give myself that. I think I get the leverage. I've watched a couple of the slap fights, Dana White slap fights. I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever, but I've watched a couple of them, so I know the strat a little bit. So I'll give my. I don't think they're big combat sports guys, so I like to think that I could throw these long arms around.
Who do you have a bigger rivalry with on the show? On the show, like say from like I guess a friendly standpoint, is it Pete or is it your DJ? Real quick.
Oh, I mean, right now it's definitely Pete because Pete's a Bruins fan. So I've been giving it to him pretty good over the last week or so. Especially we were both. I was sitting right next to him in the building for Game 1 as the Bruins coughed up that lead and the Sabres had that big comeback in the last 8.5 minutes of the game, and I was giving it to him. So right now it's definitely Pete.
Marsha, go ahead.
Go to karaoke song.
Oh, last time I did karaoke, I did a Paramore song.
Yes.
I think I just did "Ain't It Fun," but honestly, I might throw in like a little like Darius Rucker version of "Wagon Wheel." That one gets me
Ooh.
going every time. I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of karaoke though, so it's hard to know. It depends on the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
to be fair, I did Fly Like an Eagle by Seal last year, and that was the first time I've done
There you
karaoke.
go.
But like it's funny when like random white people come up to you and be like, "Oh, which version did you do?" I'm like, "Of course I did the one with flavor in it. What's wrong with you?" Jason, go ahead.
Who's your favorite Saber right now?
Oh, right now,
Right now, and then all time.
okay, right now probably Noah Ostlund. Just young kid, and he was out for the first 2 games, I think, and then he came back. It was awesome. So I really rock with him right now. All time, Uh, I mean, I loved Maxim Afinogenov. He was really electric. And then as a kid, I guess to bring it on topic a little bit, like Mike Greer was the only hockey player that looked like me a little bit. So I always kind of gravitated towards, at
Salute.
least on the Sabres. So I always gravitated towards him a little bit. I always liked speed and flash and players who looked like me. So Afinogenov and Mike Greer were definitely two of the big guys as I was growing up.
Who was your favorite black hockey player of all time?
Jerome McGinley. He was my favorite hockey player growing up. That especially like if we're discounting Sabres, like Jerome McGinley was absolutely my guy. I rocked with him so heavy. And then yeah, I mean Mike Greer too, but that was just because he was a Sabre.
Who has the better shoe game on the show? You, Pete, or
Probably, I mean, probably me. The problem is that I've been poor for a while, so I definitely know more about
I
shoes.
love it. I love it.
I think Pete probably has the most shoes. Um, I don't know. Maybe once we get next deal, I'll probably have the best shoe game. But as of right now, I'll give it to Pete.
okay? So what kicks are you currently rocking right now?
Oh, I mean, I keep it pretty classic. Like I've rocked Air Force Ones most of my life. I have a
Hold
Blazers.
on.
I
Do you
have
have white ones or black ones?
white ones. I'm not a crazy person. I'm not out here fighting people. I'm a good guy. Yeah, I got white ones. I got a couple random pairs of like Jordan 1 stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. But hopefully I'll be changing that in the not too distant future.
Fair enough. Avery, you got a couple more?
Yeah, over under next season. How many games do the Bills win? Over under 11 wins.
I'll go over. I still think that's a great team. I the we'll see what it's like with Joe Brady as the coach instead of Sean McDermott, but I still think that's with Josh Allen at quarterback. I'm expecting at least 11 wins.
And Josh Allen's gonna have dad powers.
Exactly. It's he's hitting a new level, so it's I think we're gonna see a different kind of Josh Allen.
What's worse, chicken and waffles or jerk chicken?
What's worse?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I gotta say chicken and waffles. Like if we're comparing just like I love chicken and waffles. I don't want to get rid of either of them. But like just as a pure like it's just chicken fingers and waffles largely. Like jerk chicken as by itself, that shit rocks. So I am gonna give the nod to jerk chicken, but I have a soft spot for both of them.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. When was the last time you've actually gone across the border and actually tried solid Caribbean food?
Oh, so the last time I was across the border was like 2 weeks ago. Last time I don't know that I've had solid Caribbean food in Toronto. I don't know that I've had the privilege or not across the border at all. I was in Toronto 2 weekends ago. I went to a Toronto FC game, went to a Blue Jays game. Great time. Didn't have a whole lot of time to eat. But if you've got Rex like on your side of the border, I will absolutely take them because I love going up north.
Tell you what, run me your contact. Run me your contact. The next time you're up here, I got you. Okay?
We'll do. I love some good Caribbean food, so I'm absolutely will do.
Next, you know, I take him to Sunrise, and he'd be like, "What is this?"
Brother.
You can't even
No.
take the man there, bro. What kind of
No,
foolishness is
no
that, bro?
sunrise, no chubbies.
Man said
Obviously not.
sunrise,
Obviously
Marsha.
not. I'm not going to do
The
that
man,
to him.
yo,
I'm not
Dave,
going to do that to him.
Dave,
Okay,
you're a
come on.
wicked man. You want to
He
make the
didn't even
man's
say
belly
main track.
running,
He
bro.
said sunrise.
Yo,
He'll never come
Dave,
back north again.
yo,
You
Dave,
know?
No.
can't do
I
that,
do know
bro.
some solid spots. I do know some solid spots.
Yo, man said sunrise, bro. You're
Yo,
gonna get the man sick.
No, I know. I've been in Toronto too often to know you guys are setting him up for some foolishness.
no, I know.
Exactly.
No.
Remember
Here's the thing.
that.
Here's the thing. I only say sunrise as a joke because it's like we all know sunrise is terrible, right? And I don't want to ruin his experience because, like, obviously, Avery, we went to a solid spot.
Yeah,
like,
we did.
a few years ago. I don't know if it's still standing, but if it is still standing, like, yo, trust me, like you're gonna love it. I mean, it
I
might be
believe.
like in a little bit of a hipster part of Toronto, but I think you'll be okay. I don't know. If you're into white women, but like, yo, there's
This guy, this guy is just unhinged.
Tension
The man is unhinged.
check.
This guy didn't want me to rant, but this guy is unhinged.
I don't know.
This guy is unhinged, bro.
Yo, what is wrong with you?
Dora came out.
Marsha.
Yeah, we're clipping that. Yeah, we're clipping that for YouTube Shorts.
Oh my God.
Yo. Yo.
Yo, this man said,
Where's
yo,
this restaurant?
and I quote, I don't know if you're into white women. Yo, dude, what's the matter with you?
Yo.
Listen, I'll go anywhere for good food. I'll say that.
actually boring.
Yo, Dave.
Just-
Yo, I can't, bro. I can't. Oh,
Holy
I'm
smokes.
sorry. It's therapeutic to have a really good laugh. Sometimes, like,
this
yo.
guy. Yo.
Anyway, Sean, thank you very much for putting up with that. I'm so sorry,
Yo, this guy.
You're good.
Yo, Dave. I can't, brother.
dude. Listen, like I said, like if I'm not chaotic, how well do you know me if I'm not chaotic, man? Come on,
That's
No,
true.
it's true though. That's true. This is true. That part is true.
great. Like I may be unhinged, but I promise you, I'll be like your best friend. I promise. So
Oh, I do want to say before we go, Dave, I do want to say, um, just again, this is the guy who's on What Chaos, and for those who don't know, I appeared on their 24-hour live stream trade deadline day show. They always do a show on What Chaos where they do a full show for a full 24 hours, and these guys, PJ, DJ, Pete, and Sean, you say, yeah, we'll have you on, Avery, but they only wanted me on at, nor will I, 2:30 in the morning because they're afraid of my out-of-pocketness any other time.
Well, listen, you
oh yeah,
also
that's
did.
right.
You did tell us that you were up late, and we have a full 24 hours to fill. So
That's
I
true.
figured, what better time to introduce the people than in the craziest hours of the show? So it all worked out perfectly. But we were very
That
happy
is
to have you
true.
on, Avery.
Thank you, John. And your audience enjoyed my intro of me trying to go full Sabu, pulling a towel off my head, or sorry, full Taz. I figure, you know what? Let me go outrageous. Let me be out silly. It's 12:30 Mountain Time. Let me be absurd with my entrance.
Fits the
Why
vibe of
not?
the 24-hour stream.
Yo, you see, these are the things that Avery likes to hide from us because he has to be the professional one on the show. And then when he's on the next show, it's like this man's like coming out Michael Jackson jacket, saying some out of pocket stuff like left, right, and center, and yet we're hearing it from Julian or somebody else that basically knows this man, and yet still I'm the one that's crazy. Like my guy, what's going
That's
on
just
here?
the way the wind blows, Dave. I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, the wind is about to slap the fedora off of Avery's head one time. Like, yo,
This guy.
Nah, but you can't lie though. This guy has a sick fedora game though, bro.
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Top tier.
100%.
Yes.
Too bad. One doesn't have a Stanley Cup pin on it though.
Oh boy.
Hey, what do you have, Dave?
Yeah, cause Dave, we can't even
Receding
talk
hairline
right
and
now,
white hair
bro.
on my face. All right.
Yo, we have no room to talk right now, bro.
Of course
Because
we
the
have no room.
Sabres, the
Actually,
Sabres and the
wait,
Oilers are.
wait. Let me rephrase that. I have a Larry O'Brien pin on my hat still.
A Larry
Yeah.
O'Brien pin.
And whatever the Argos CFL
Or a Grey Cup?
trophy and
Grey Cup? Yeah, there we go.
why did I forget that?
World
Like
Series.
whatever color it is,
Honestly,
And then were you with them for TFC?
I was actually. I
Yeah,
still have my ring to prove it.
PFC, yeah.
yeah. So you got a couple. Don't say you got nothing.
I
Yeah.
didn't say I had nothing. Like, I mean,
That's no
listen,
Stanley
okay.
Cup. That's an old hunk of metal, anyways.
Listen, okay. If Darren were on the show, Darren would be out here like Michael Jordan showing off.
I
his
know.
secret still.
That's right.
Like, here's the thing. I think what between Darren, myself, and Marsha, maybe like there's at least 10, if not 11 championship rings on this podcast alone. So
Me by
you're in
extension,
great company
because
right
it's in the house.
anyways, Sean, have you enjoyed your time with us?
This has been a blast, of course. I'm so appreciative of you guys having me on.
Of course, man. Like, hey, listen, I know obviously hockey loyalties aside, we'd love to have you back on the podcast, man.
Anytime, and it's always fun talking hockey, especially with you guys. Like I said, this has been a blast.
On that note, we're gonna wrap this episode up. Sean, thank you very much for coming through. We won't tell Pete or we won't tell your other boy that you were the better of the three. So
I'll keep that between us.
Don't disrespect Pete and PJ. Let them be.
Oh, my goodness.
listen, Pete's a Bruins fan, all right? He's still catching it too. Anyways,
Yeah.
This is your boy Dave signing off on the Third Intermission podcast. Of course, like I said, follow us on the socials. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast from. And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and hit that bell on YouTube. We'll be back next week with another episode. So until next time, as Jason would always say, drink your water, mind your business, and deuces.